Flyersguy, and welcome to another edition of Throwback Flyersguy. Sorry, my eyes are kind of watering right now. I got the air conditioner on. Sometimes it makes my eyes water. In this week's episode, I'd like to discuss my top 10 video games that I like to play in my childhood. I'm also going to be talking about my top 10 video game rental mistakes as well. So let's get into the video. And at number 10, we're going to start out with my top 10 favorite video games that I like to play when I was a child. Now these games could be in my childhood, in my teen years, whatever. And at number 10, my first pick on this countdown, at number 10, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2. I thought I'd put these two together in one pick. I really like these games because they were fun to play. At times I kind of gave up on them later, but I had a fun time playing Tomb Raider games. Playing Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2. I spent most of my days playing those games all day, trying to figure out how to beat them. I could never beat them, but they were fun to play, and I really enjoyed them. Number 9. The first Crash Bandicoot game. And the second Crash Bandicoot game, Crash Bandicoot 2, Warped. I really like these two games. These were very fun games to play. Every time my cousin would come over, I would watch him play, and we'd take turns playing the first Crash game and playing the second one as well. Our favorite level was the level where the boulder chases you. It was hard and difficult and very frustrating. It was a very fun level. So I really enjoyed both Crash Bandicoot 1 and Crash Bandicoot 2. At number 8, a game I played but never beat. Hold on. At number 8, one of my favorite games to play. At number 8, Banjo-Kazooie for the N64. I really love this game. It was one of my favorite video games. I really enjoyed playing it. It was such a fun game, and there were a lot of secret areas in the game that you would have to uncover. I really enjoyed this platformer. It's one of the best platformers for the N64, and I enjoyed it. I remember playing this game back in the summer of '98 and just playing the hell out of this game, enjoying every single minute of this game. At the time, I went to summer school. Not because I was failing. The school that I went to was Widener, and usually they would have this summer program to get you acclimated into everything at Widener. It had nothing to do with having failing grades. And every day, I couldn't wait to get home and play Banjo-Kazooie. Just get home from summer school and play Banjo-Kazooie. I enjoyed that game. Well, I gotta tell you, I will not be talking about Mystical Ninja Storm going on, and I won't be talking about Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because I've already did episodes about those games. Okay, at number 7. At number 7 on this countdown. At number 7, Yoshi's Story. I would not consider this a rental, but in a way, I kind of rented this game off of a friend. I borrowed it off of a friend for a couple of days, so it kind of counts as a rent. So kind of, well, this isn't a rental thing. My next favorite game, number 7, Yoshi's Story. I loved this game, Yoshi's Story. I never beat it, but it was just a fun game. Collecting and finding all the hidden Yoshis and just playing this game and having such a great time playing Yoshi's Story. I borrowed this game from my friend Billy Cole. Billy Cole, who lives around the corner. And I enjoyed every second of this game. I loved the music. I loved the gameplay. It was just a fun video game to play. So at number 7, Yoshi's Story for the N64. At number 6, at number 6, Pokemon Puzzle League. Yes, I really enjoyed Pokemon Puzzle League. I rented this game from West Coast Video, along with another game that I will get into soon. And this game that I'm talking about is Pokemon Puzzle League. It's my number 6 pick here. Yeah, I really enjoyed Pokemon Puzzle League. I love the challenge mode. I love the story mode. It's just a fun game that I enjoyed playing, and I loved it. I loved every minute of Pokemon Puzzle League. At number 5, you ever get into my top 5 right now. At number 5, Mario Tennis for the N64. I know a lot of my picks for N64 games, but you know, they had a lot of fun games for the N64. This might be my last N64 game on this list right here. And at number 5, Mario Tennis. You know, I do not like tennis. I do not like the sport at all. I do not like playing tennis video games. But this game, I love to play. And that was the number 5, Mario Tennis for the N64. I really enjoyed this game. I liked playing it. It's just such a fun game, and I really enjoy this. For a tennis game, this is one of the funnest tennis games that I've ever played on the N64. Now, we're getting to the final 4 on my countdown. The final 4 on my countdown. Final 4 on my countdown. The final 4 on my countdown. And at number 4, Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a game starring Bruce Willis. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed this game. It had a lot of great action in it. You could choose from all different kinds of guns and weapons. And you just run around and shoot and destroy people and destroy things. This is a fun game. I really like this game. So number 4, Apocalypse for the PlayStation. Now we get into number 3, and that game is State of Emergency for the PlayStation 2. I really enjoyed State of Emergency, one of my favorite games by Rockstar Games. It's a video game where you do like a story mode and you complete missions. Or you could just do anarchy mode where you blow anything up and there are no consequences. I really enjoyed State of Emergency. It's one of my favorite games. And I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this game so much. I loved it. I loved it. And number two, another game for the PS2. Another game for the PS2. Trying to think here. Another game for the PS2 that I really enjoyed playing. Well, actually, I'm gonna actually my number two pick on this countdown is Dead or Alive 3 for the Xbox. Dead or Alive 3 was such a fun game. A lot of hot girls, a lot of great fighting mechanics. It's just one of my favorite games for the Xbox. I remember getting the Xbox back in the summer of '03, and Dead or Alive 3 was one of the games that I had rented for the Xbox. I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed the story mode, really enjoyed the mechanics in this game. I just loved it, and I love the destructible environments in the game. You can kick a guy, kick somebody through a window. It's just an amazing game for the Xbox. Now we get into our number one pick. Before we get into my number one pick, there's one game I'd like to talk about. And that game is, first, let's do some honorable mentions. Here are a few games that are in my honorable mentions. Pokemon Blue for the Game Boy. Yes, I apologize that Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Red. I know I should have put this in the main countdown. I didn't really have room for it. All the Pokemon games for the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald for the Game Boy Advance. And also Pokemon Fire Red. Every single one of these games was such a fun game. I enjoyed playing every one of these games. Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Silver, Gold, Crystal, Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, and Fire Red for the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. I really enjoyed all these games. They were fun, they were addictive, and I could not put them down. And I enjoyed just playing those games, creating my own Pokemon, making up my own Pokemon team, choosing a starter, and starting my Pokemon journey. The next time I'll mention Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards for the Game Boy Advance. I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time. During the Yu-Gi-Oh! Craze, I was crazy about Yu-Gi-Oh! I had almost every Yu-Gi-Oh! Game for the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. But the one I enjoyed the most was the Sacred Cards. Not the Sacred Cards. I'm not sure what game it was, but it was like a game, like an RPG game, and you walk around. I think it was Eternal Darkness or something, but it was for the Game Boy Advance. It was released in 2004. Really enjoyed this game. One of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. Now we get into our next honorable mention on this list. And that is Pocket Fighter for the PlayStation. I loved Pocket Fighter. It had all of your favorite Capcom characters in a very cartoony type way. The characters from Darkstalkers, and Street Fighter. And some cameos like Mega Man and Roll from the Mega Man games. I really enjoyed this game. It was a funny take on all the great Capcom games. Now we get into our Next honorable mention on this countdown. And our next honorable mention on this countdown. Next honorable mention would have to go to. Next honorable mention would have to go to an RPG game that I've never beaten, but I really enjoyed. And that game was Star Ocean for the PlayStation. I really liked Star Ocean, such a great RPG, and one of my favorite RPGs on the PlayStation. Really enjoyed this game, but I never beat it. Without further ado, let's get into my number one pick on this countdown. And my number one pick on this countdown are the Halo games for the Xbox and the Xbox 360. I enjoy Halo. Such a great game. And I enjoyed their follow-up titles as well. Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. I remember having my friends over, and we would play multiplayer. We would play Halo. It would be the multiplayer mode. And we would have such a great time playing. And then I remember playing Halo 2 with my cousin Matt and my nephew Brian. We had such a fun time playing that game. Now that I think of it, I never got Halo 3. I had Halo 1 and Halo 2. And I enjoyed the hell out of both of these games. So I had to put Halo 1 and 2 at number 1. The Halo games are a masterpiece of fun and action. And I really enjoyed both of these games. Halo 1 for the Xbox and Halo 2 for the Xbox 360. Guys, thank you. This isn't it yet. Now we're going to get into my next video. And we're going to talk about my top 10 rental mistakes. There will be no honorable mentions in this one. This is going to be a straight top 10 list. At number one, Pit Fighter. At number 10, Pit Fighter with the Super NES. Oh boy, Pit Fighter with the Super NES was one of the worst games I had ever played. Horrible game. The difficulty was too high. I couldn't even get past the first guy. I never had a Super Nintendo. I played it at my cousin's house in Wilkes-Barre. I hated Pit Fighter with the Super NES. It was so damn difficult. You couldn't even get past the first game. You try to throw punches, and you're taking damage immediately, and you lose the fight immediately. So at number 10, Pit Fighter with the Super NES. Stay the hell away from this game. It is horrible. At number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter for the Sega Genesis. Oh boy, this game is a shit show of video games. I remember I rented this for the Sega Genesis, and when I first turned it on, it was shit at the start. The story mode really sucked, and the controls for this game were horrible. Doing a move, just trying to throw a punch was like trying to fight on the moon. It was so damn horrible. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Tournament Fighters for the Sega Genesis is one of the biggest steaming pieces of shit that I've ever played for the Sega Genesis. Avoid this game, and avoid this game and stick to the Super Nintendo version of this game. Even the NES version is better than this Chia, better than the piece of shit on the Sega Genesis. At number 8, At number 8. At number 8. At number 8. Fighters Destiny 2. The N64. I played this game. Got my ass kicked. I got my ass kicked several times in the story mode and in the arcade mode. And I just gave up on this game. Piece of trash. This game sucked. This game sucked. Avoid that game. At number 7. At number 7. At number 7. At number 7. Okay, at number 7. At number 7. At number 7. Okay, number 7. Here we go, number 7. At number 7, Knights of the Round for the PlayStation. Not to be confused with the popular title, Knights of the Round for the Super NES. That game was great. I'm talking about a game that is like is a horrible point-and-click game for the PlayStation, and it actually does have 2 discs. And this game absolutely sucks. Let me tell you why. Horrible voice acting, horrible controls, and just a convoluted story about a priest who had his hand cut off. I really hate this game. One of the worst point-and-click games I've ever played. Stay far away from this game and never play it. At number 6. At number 6. Number 6. Teenage T2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. The arcade game for the NES. Don't get mad at me. But the reason why I put this on this list is because of its high difficulty and unfair game mechanics. I really hated this game. Never got past the first level. They don't give you a lot of continues, and that's just basically it. You die even one time. You lose all your continues. That's it. Game over. Start from the beginning. This game sucks. This game sucks. So let's see here. This game sucks. That's my number 6 pick. I'm getting to number 5. At number 5, not really a rental mistake, but I did borrow this game, and I borrowed T2, the arcade game as well. And this game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first game. This game really had high difficulty level. This game absolutely pissed me off to no end, and I threw my controller down in frustration playing this piece of shit. So number 6, Teenage Mutant Ninja. So number 5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original game for the NES. Now we get into my number 4 pick on this countdown. Number 4 pick. My number 4 pick on this countdown. And that game would have to be a game that would have to be next rental mistake would have to be, trying to think here, would have to be, never mind big games on the Dreamcast, would have to be Another game would have to be Dick Tracy. Well, my next pick would have to be. Would have to be Spider-Man versus X-Men Arcade Revenge. I hated the Genesis version. Hated the NES version. Horrible, horrible, horrible games. Both the NES and the Sega Genesis. I don't got much to say about this game, but if you want a good X-Men game, stick to the arcade game. Stick to Unipocalypse for the SNES. Hell, even the first X-Men game for the Sega Genesis was better than that crap. And if you're looking for a good Spider-Man game, I suggest you play Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety. Two great games for the Sega Genesis and the Super NES. And also the first Spider-Man game for the Sega Genesis is also a great game as well. Now we get into the final three picks on this countdown. And at number 3, NHL Power Play 98 for the PlayStation. Oh boy, this game absolutely 100% sucked. Probably the worst hockey game I've ever played. And here's why. Horrible controls, horrible movement, just a horrible, horrible game. Stay away from this game. If you want a good hockey game, play NHL 97. Any of the NHL games are better than that game. Now we get into our number 2 pick on this countdown. Our number 2 pick on this countdown. Alright. Our number 2 pick on this countdown. I would have to go with number 2 pick on this countdown. Number 2. I would definitely have to go with. I would have to go with Alone in the Dark from PlayStation. A lot of people praise this game, but I definitely do not like the PS1 version of this game. And here's why. You die within 2 seconds when you get into the game. And then there's this one part of the game where you walk out in the street and somebody does a drive-by on you and you're dead. Can't stand this game. Now we get into my most hated game at number 1. My most hated game at number 1. And I played some doozies. At number 1, King of the Monsters for the Sega Genesis. And the reason why I put this on the list at number 1 is because it is so bad that it is completely unplayable on the Sega Genesis. I rented this game, played it on my Sega Genesis, it didn't work at all. And I put it down, and I said, this game is completely unplayable. I can't do anything in this game. And the sad thing is, it's a fun game. But the fact that it didn't work made it a crappy game. So that's why it's number 1. So folks, that is my top 10 favorite video games I like to play. I love video games I love to play, and my top 10 video game rental mistakes. Guys, thank you for joining me, and have a great day.